All right, folks, we're going to get started. First of all, before we introduce ourselves, we're going to talk a little bit about the situation in Panama first, and we'll get into a Q&A after. Please don't type questions into the chat because we're never, ever going to find them after. Wait till the Q&A comes. If you want to queue up your questions in a notepad or something, go ahead.
We've already got raised hands.
Yeah.
Lots of questions we
Lots of questions we have. So let's introduce yourselves. Who are we?
Who goes first?
Ladies first, always.
All right. I'm Megan. We are retired in Panama, but I'm originally from Pennsylvania. In 2018, I moved to Panama as a Peace Corps volunteer. And in that time, met Oscar, my now husband. And after Peace Corps, originally started doing the tours, the Retire in Panama tours with him for a couple of years. And then we had our son last year. So now I do a lot of the operations and logistics, and I'll meet you guys for a couple days if you come on tour with us. And we get to show you the country, teach you about the culture. And yeah, that's me. I'm from Pennsylvania, went to Penn State, big Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Also playing tonight. We'll be cheering on Panama and Eagles after this.
I have an Eagles shirt. I could have worn that one.
You could.
Okay.
You could.
You can go change.
Who's next?
You.
Me. Okay. I'm Rod Larrabee, Vancouver, Canada. I moved here just over 12 years ago. I was one of the guys that just packed a bag and I'm moving to Panama and got in some trouble. And it just so happened within 3 months, I really didn't know what I was doing. And I met this guy, Oscar, and he basically saved the day. He had already been in Panama for already 3 years and had started helping expats move here. So we started out, we became friends. Well, we don't really like each other, but we just started hanging out, let's say, and then we became business partners, and here we are today. So I love the fact that when I came here, I got into some trouble, and some people were trying to steal money from me. It was one thing after another, and today, what I do is prevent that from happening from people, and I really love what I do down here. Love Panama. Not coming back to Canada. Sorry, you Canadians. If you want to visit, you got to come down here and see me.
Well, I am Oscar. I am originally from Cali, Colombia. I've been here in Panama over 14 years. Before here, I was in Costa Rica for 3 years and a half. I've been have a extensive experience in tourism and hospitality, and now with expert services that I've been providing since 2010, 10 mostly. So since I'm Colombian, and being here for so long, I have a very, very attachment to the culture here. So I'm the one who actually consider myself like the bridge between the two cultures, the North American and the Panamanian culture. And on tours, I am the one who's leading the tour. And I'm the one actually have the connections all over the country, being here long enough to do so. And I am very Panamanian. I have been here long enough to feel like a Panamanian, have all the pride as any other Panamanian. I'm not citizen legally yet, so that's why I cannot vote. But when I can, I'm gonna vote. So I've been doing these tours with them. Very blessed for the team we have. This company is a family business. This company has the one goal and one mission only, is to ensure you guys get to see this country, learn about all the culture as it is, and also to just learn what it takes to be in Panama, about no rainbows, no butterflies, about the real things. Yes, there's rainbows and there's butterflies here. You just know where to look at those, okay? And I'm the type of person that like to find the solutions always, and so is our team. So tonight we're gonna talk about what's going on in Panama, what's going on, what is the projection for the future. For the future, I can say what's gonna be next week, in a month, in December, January. And I do have a lot of street smart skills so that I know my people and how things are gonna follow up, besides the facts that we're gonna show you tonight.
Okay, stand up, show your shirt. Mostly there's 150 people on this call now. Like, why are you guys in matching shirts and what are they about?
Oh, because tonight is a very important game for the Panama team. This is a back and forth game. Last week, Panama beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica, which was huge event. And tonight they're gonna face them again, but in Panama.
In
Yeah.
Panama City, they're
In Panama
playing
City.
at 9
At
o'clock.
9
So
o'clock.
that is soccer, folks. If you're sports enthusiasts, get used to it. You're gonna like
It is football. There is
Football.
football and American football.
Yeah. There
But
we go.
soccer and baseball are the biggest in
So
Panama.
I think
Yeah.
Pablo was going to be on the call. So if you're gonna be on the call, Pablo, we're gonna kick Costa Rica's butt tonight. Okay. All right, folks. Before we get into the Q&A, you people with your hands up, you're going to get to answer the first questions. But like I said, for all you new people that came on, don't go typing your questions in the chat. If you already did, you need to type them in the Q&A portion. You'll see that it's right beside the chat. And then when we open up the Q&A portion, then we'll read the questions there. The chat is just for chat. Okay. Now we're going to run through very quickly here some stuff happening in Panama. And most of you know about the protest in Panama. And you should all be seeing a Google map. And is that what you see? You guys can answer yes in the chat. Okay, no, nobody sees it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So this, folks, is most of Panama, most of the populated areas of Panama. See all these little hearts there? Well, that's because I favorited things in Boquete. That's Boquete, and that's where we live. Okay, so to know what's going on, some of you people here are in Panama right now. Some are thinking of coming very shortly, and some are looking at Panama as a destination down the road and looking in 2024 to visit. Well, the situation we're in here, it has to do with a mine that's actually been in business for almost 30 years in Panama. In 2013, it was purchased by a Canadian company, First Quantum Minerals, and they mine copper, gold, silver, and this is, unfortunately, an open mine. So it's kind of ugly, and just recently a new deal was passed by our government that the people didn't like, and the people started protesting. In Latin America, they do protest a lot. It's not the same as the protests we see in the US or Canada, like, whether, you're looking at the major US protests like George Floyd or the major Canadian ones like the truckers one in 2021, I believe. It's not quite like it's more of marching down streets with bands, music. There has been some violence, unfortunately, and that's what Oscar said. We're going to tell you exactly what it's like here. We're not going to exaggerate, and we're not going to under-exaggerate. And there's different types of people that should come now, and there's different types of people that shouldn't. But one thing, if you're here, you can do this on your phone, or you can do it on the computer. Click on this layers thing and hit traffic. See what comes up? Now, we're going to see, let's split the you'll be able to see my mouse moving here. Split the country in half right in Santiago. From Santiago west, this highway is the only way to get through the country. There's no other highway. Like you can see it here. These are borders, so and rivers. There's no other highway. It's the only one. It's been blocked for 3.5 weeks. Now, what you see from the center point left, you see a few, which they're just winding down right now because today was a what's called a countrywide strike. Yeah, national strike day. So over the last 2-3 weeks, we haven't seen a lot of activity. That there have been sporadic protests in these areas, but typically you've been able to get through. Like if you're in Rio Hato, you could get to Panama City. If you were in Coronado, you could get there, especially if you went in the evening or early morning. If you were way down in Petit, there's one problem area which is actually seemed to have moved a little bit.
La Villa.
Yeah, it's just today this national protest thing is happening. So, but this is the problem area. You have not been able to, and I don't see the rest of this week. Have you ever been able to drive through Panama? This is closed in this section. So, but if you are, let's say, we're in Boquete and I want to go to David. And I'm gonna hit directions. Well, it's wow. GPS off a little bit there. Okay. So Boquete to David. Oh yeah, look, road's open.
And it has been open all day, all this week, past week.
Oh yeah, like 10, 14 days.
As a matter of fact, there was only one protest on the highway by Meduca, which is a national government entity for the education, Ministry of Education. And they were just without block. Everyone was can avoid that going through back street.
And that was
that's it.
just today on the.
And that was
National
just
Strike
today.
Day.
Now, if I want to go to Volcan, I can go to Volcan. See these little slowdowns? These are wicked curves and stuff in here. It's nothing to be worried about.
Yeah.
But you would see a red line or a red X as we saw before. Volcan has this protest entering the city that during certain hours it's open, during certain hours. It's navigatable depending on when you get there. You just got to plan around
That
it.
looks like it's a detour, but it's not. That's actually the way to get to Volcan.
Yeah, that's the
It's
actual
a roller coaster road. It's
Now-
a scenery. It's very beautiful.
If I'm in Volcan, if I want to get to David, boom, you just type it in, totally wide open. Okay, so all that's good. So let's move around the city, and let's say you're down, you're at the airport. Can I get from the airport? Am I going to be able to get from the airport to my hotel? It will plot the
very
route for
downtown.
you. And see, this is downtown right now. There are a couple blockages here. Google, like, don't forget, a blockage can pop up and it's not going to be on Google Maps. So you could still, mostly in the city though, there's usually ways to get around it. But we're not going to advise somebody who's never been here, come here, rent a car and try to get around it themselves.
No, the taxi
That's right.
drivers and Uber drivers
Uber
know
are
how to
great.
get around.
Yeah, or a private driver. So right now it's a basic 28-minute ride to get from Tokeman to downtown. The protest people said they were going to let the game go tonight and get out of the way of people.
Priorities.
Yeah, right now it's pretty. But if you're going all the way to Coronado right now, I don't know what this looks like. That's why we're telling you guys exactly. Oops, Coronado
Oh,
lost.
that's right.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay.
There's one in a mile, but it's passing by La Chorrera.
Past its route, you could do it. Yeah, it's going around. It's taking the North Bridge, the Centennial Bridge. A little slow down, but there's no big lineup.
And
But
then
usually they will cut, like today, it will cut up in an hour.
Yeah, because really there hasn't been in the last week huge blocks on the east side of the country, just the west. So depending on your travel destination.
And a little bit in the Azuero as well.
Yeah.
Like near Chitre,
Yeah.
Las Tablas, but they do come and go. Like
Yeah.
our friends that live down in Chitre said, or just outside of Chitre, they said early in the morning they can get to do their shopping and then get back.
Yeah, there's a blockage here. Oscar's the expert. He knows exactly how to get around this one because he did it a couple weeks ago. But you can go around. There are roads and stuff like that, but not if you're a novice driver. What I mean novice is you've never driven in Panama.
Yeah.
You're gonna wait, and these ones are typically 2 hours here and there.
So what we're trying to say is for those, and I've been trying to share this in our group or other groups, say if there is a way you already have a plan. You see Panama City or some other areas, you can get there by either by plane or by road if you are in the west part of Panama country. And there is a lot of places that you can still go. Now, me personally would not advise you to rent a car because let's say in Chiriquí province, we have a little shortage of fuel. It's not that it's not existence, it is. It's just a little bit shortage. Now, the public transportation and the private transportation companies, they have everything figured out. Meaning, if you arrive in Panama City, there's going to be no problem to find transportation from Panama City to Coronado or from David Airport to Boquete. Or if you fly from Panama City to Bocas del Toro, and Bocas del Toro is going to be in the main island. I'm talking about Isla Colón. There's going to be all transportation, no problem. There's gas and there's fuel there too.
Now, this, you guys have to stay. I'm going to say this really. You got to get your information from somewhere, but don't
Share
get caught down the rabbit hole. What's that?
We're still sharing our screen.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Oh, this is just stuff I'm going to be bringing up a bit later. Here, let's because I'm going into this. Don't get dragged down the rabbit hole. Like don't get you can go from one social media link to another one to another one. No expat or tourist is starving in Panama. The people that might be short of food are the people that have been laid off their jobs because the tourists didn't come and they don't have money to buy food. The rumors that Cherokee has no food, well, the stores look like it does after a 3-day weekend here.
Yeah.
Then they get restocked. So we had no chicken in the one grocery store yesterday, but there's chicken today. Don't tell me you can't get eggs in Cherokee. There are more chickens laying eggs or hens laying eggs than there are people in this province.
And
So you just have
That's a good way to put it.
the restaurants that are running out of propane are all cooking on electric stoves, which they're selling on every corner.
We have, I saw in Boquete here, Thanksgiving dinner sold out at a bunch of restaurants already because the community is really supporting these restaurants and trying to keep them working so the employees can actually get paid and actually they don't go on.
Now, what about the tourism people? Like people that are supposed to be coming tourists to do the hikes, doing the outdoor activities. There are many people that cancel just because out of fear when they could come here. They still can.
You might have to change it though. Like we don't recommend you rent cars and drive around the country. Do not do that because you don't know how to get out of a protest.
It really
Oscar and I driving around here. Yeah, it's been 12 years. Oscar 100% could find his way out of it. I could probably muddle my way through it, but but there's many professional drivers throughout this country.
Yeah.
And we're here to, if anyone needs recommendations there or something, you can let us know and we can, because some of you people don't have cancelable dates and you're planning to come. But we're going to get into something quickly here. Then we're going to talk to some people already in this country who aren't us. And then we're going to get to your questions. Okay. Now, what has happened is our legislature or house, what we call an assembly in Panama, which is a house of 69 elected members every 5 years, voted to repeal the contract that everyone's mad at and basically shut that whole deal down. Now that happened on the 3rd or 4th of November. You can read this article here. You guys will get all this information. And then it went into a 21-day, the translation is blessing and praying period, but it's a public study period. And then it gets passed to our Supreme Court. So the two constitutional matters that have been brought up because of these repeals and stuff. One ends the blessing period ends on the praying period ends on the 21st and one of the 22nd, one of the 23rd, and the Supreme Court decided to declare a permanent session. They have not done this. I have not found the last permanent session by a Supreme Court. It must have been years ago. What that means is they don't leave their room until they make a decision. So that decision, contrary to some people believe that decision won't happen for weeks, Oscar and I are of the opinion it's going to happen within a few days, possibly this weekend. So again, our opinion, should they come, if they have their plane is landing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what should they do? What's your opinion?
In the city?
Yeah.
If you're arriving on Saturday, you definitely wanted to have a range of private driver or transportation from your hotel. Do not rent a car. Because on Saturday, let's think the worst scenario, which is they say, okay, they're not gonna rule the
oh yeah, I didn't say that. By the way, the ruling is either
Friday.
to find the contract unconstitutional is what supposedly the protesters want, or find it constitutional.
Yeah, the chances for they not find it not unconstitutional, the chances for that, in my humble opinion, especially knowing from many lawyers and the Supreme Court are vouching more for declare it unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So the chances to go the negative side are very minimal. I will say are less than a 5% of chances.
But given the uncertainty next weekend, if you can.
This weekend.
This
Right,
weekend.
Right, this
Mhm.
upcoming weekend, if you're planning on arriving Friday, Saturday, and you can postpone a couple days, that would probably be ideal.
Yeah. Mhm.
And if it's not, there's just about the timing. Just make sure you have the plan B and let know your transportation or your hotels because the people can make their way around.
Either way, folks, if we get let's say we get a positive ruling at 5 o'clock on a Friday,
Mhm.
positive for what the protesters, there's going to be partying in the streets everywhere. It's not going to be dangerous,
No,
but the traffic is going to be chaos.
it's gonna be a parade.
Yeah.
People with the Panamanian flags wearing these
everywhere.
t-shirts because everyone is gonna be so proud, including
Yeah.
myself,
Mhm.
ourselves.
So
I'll be in Panama City this Friday. I'm flying Saturday from Panama City to Boquete.
So
to David.
clearly he's not concerned.
I'm not concerned. I know my way around.
but we're talking about brand new people
Yeah.
that have never.
I understand. No, I understand.
Yeah,
Of
we don't want to
course.
throw them in
That's
chaos.
why I suggest you that they get the reliable drivers through your hotel because in Panama City, it's a whole different dynamic, especially with the drivers. There is so many ways to get around.
Now, for those of you who don't know, more people joining, the Panama Supreme Court is very similar to US and Canada's. There are 9 Supreme Court justices. The big difference is they are appointed for 10 years. So we have a little younger Supreme Court than the US has, and hopefully a little more sensible Supreme Court than both of North and, sorry, I'm not supposed to talk politics. But yeah, so it's the same type of thing, and it's a majority rule. So it's a 5-4. It's like a 5-4 decision. We'll take it. But so that's what's happening at the end of this week. It's going at 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday. It'll be in the Supreme Court's hand. Will they decide Friday? We can't tell you that. Will it be
Saturday, probably?
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. Well, they haven't been home yet, so probably. Like, trust me, there's nothing in the Constitution that says they can't look at it. They can't be studying this case during the public process time. Mhm. So I'm sure all the judges know exactly what's going on. Now, again, what a lot of you guys don't know, the mine has been here forever. This new contract was supposed to bring a lot of revenues to Panama. I suppose the old contract wasn't bringing a ton of revenue, but a lot of people, and in this falling down the rabbit hole, you find videos that say that Panama's economy is going to collapse and we're going to turn into a
Venezuela.
Yeah, into a Venezuela. Let's look at that, folks. Panama has one of the strongest economies currently, right now, today, in all the Americas. I'm talking North America, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. Everyone looks at economic charts and can point exactly to when COVID hit. But this is our GDP. So obviously, we're a growing company. Panama's 22 GDP was $76 billion. We have a $41 billion national debt, 2022. So our debt to GDP ratio is 54%. We had a growth rate last year of 10.8, and the year before was a COVID recovery rate of 15.4. Now, if we look at 2022, we're 10.8. The US GDP was 2.3, and Canada's was 3.8. And in 2021, the US was 1.9 and Canada was 5.3. So we are growing much better than North America. Big number here, which I always look at. Can a country going through tough times take on more debt? This is Panama's current stuff. All the links are on here. I don't make up these numbers, folks. All the links. The US debt is 129%. This is in 2022 of GDP, and Canada's is 107. We're 54. The country is healthy right now. We move into one other aspect. I'll get to this very fast, and is a long-term history. This is just nothing in the last few years, and our GDP now has nothing really to do with the mine. It's only a small, tiny portion of it, and I'll explain that in a second. So we have an average GDP growth rate of 5.63% between 2010 and 2022. It might not mean a lot to you guys, but we're in the top 3 countries in the Americas, and US and Canada is not in there. So that shows a lot. Panama's inflation rate, we're at 2.3%. This is this year, 1.6 drop down, a little up near this is October. So our inflation rate is low and has been low. Our inflation rate averages, this is 0% here, guys. We've had negative inflation, 0 as averaged. Do I have the number up there? Oops. Nope, next page. Well, that's article from Reuters. Yeah. Our inflation rate is average of the last 13 years, 2010 to now at 2.3%. When let's look at the chart here. You guys remember the 10% inflation, US, Canada? We peaked for a couple months at 4.5 to 5%. But we're right back down to 2 again. So our economy is extremely healthy. You can read all about it here in this Reuters article. Oh, this is above the mine. And the last thing, the YouTube videos you see about how Panama's going to collapse if we don't get this revenue from the mine are extremely misleading. Yes, the new contract had great revenues. The old contract not. 2022 numbers that they pulled from First Quantum, their revenues out of Panama, what they sold out of the mine was 3.2 billion. That is 4% of Panama's GDP. But Panama didn't get 3.2 billion. Panama got 61 million. A fraction of our
Is that
GDP.
0?
So losing the
0
mine,
something.
we can recover that with selling
Tourism.
more coffee.
Tourism.
Tourism
Tourism is
really promoting some tourism.
Tourism
So-
will beat the hell out of it, that number.
So this whole thing, if you're worried, if you've gone down the rabbit hole, I keep saying that, but it just makes so much sense. I've seen that happen. I've seen people, I'm leaving the country and I'm going to lose my home and I'm going to, none of that is going to happen, folks. This is a bump in the road for Panama. The numbers don't show that our economy is going to shrink. And even if it did, our economy can shrink. We have one of the top 3 economies in the Americas, and there's 60 countries in the America. That's saying something. And even if it shrunk for a few years, hey, it's going to pop back to something. So that I wanted to bring this. This is going out to you in our recap email tomorrow, including we also promised you the comprehensive guide for. Did that open over there somewhere?
Yep,
Where?
just behind the chat.
Oh, thank you. I got multi windows here. Oh, that's the chat. Okay, I promised you the 40-some page guide. This will also be in tomorrow's email. Everything and anything you want to know about Panama is in there. So we're gonna talk to some people.
Oh, wait. The
Yeah.
most beautiful thing about that,
What's that?
you don't have to pay.
Yeah, oh yeah, the guide.
You don't have to pay
That guide is free. Questions are coming in the
Knowledge.
Q&A. That's wonderful.
for free.
So, who are you guys gonna invite up first?
We have very folks from. We have folks from aquí from Boquete. We have folks from actually from the main island, Bocas del Toro, Isla Colón.
We got some friends in Nueva Gorgona.
Gorgona.
Dave.
Yeah, so if you guys can just raise your hand, that by going to the chat. And, or is it would it be right at the bottom of their screen as
Yeah,
well?
at the bottom of the screen, raise your hand, Dave and
And then we
Bridget.
can invite you on to talk. We have a couple
Okay,
expats
I just saw.
that just are gonna share their experience of what it's been like for them over these last couple of weeks with the protests and roadblocks. Oh, great. Got Dave and Bridget on.
Again, the camera's gone. Hey, Dave, turn your
Hey
mic.
guys, how are you?
Now, if you guys were on our call about 6 weeks ago, Dave, who we call Disaster Dave, he's known around the world as Disaster Dave. Gave us instructions.
Not causing them.
Yeah, not
Correct.
causing disasters, but gave us instructions on how to prepare for stuff like this.
Yeah, so given your experience, we know you know a lot about disasters and civil unrest. So how have you guys been feeling during these protests and roadblocks going on in Panama, especially living here in Boquete, where we've had some limited gasoline and propane and some other food items?
It's been terrible. Just kidding. Really, we were talking about it the other day, and it's like we kind of feel like for us, our experience is going to be different because we're not in Boquete proper. We live in a Panamanian neighborhood about 20 minutes out of Boquete, which is really nice because we know all our neighbors and they're all very nice. Kind of feels like COVID without all the dying people, because we're pretty much just sticking close to home. We're working on our new property. And we go once a week. We go into town. We do all our shopping on Tuesday, the Tuesday market. We play pickleball, eat lunch in one of the restaurants, and then come back and, until this is settled. And that's not out of fear of anything. That's just because there's no gas for our cars, or no gas at a reasonable price. I've paid some unreasonable prices recently, but got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So really, for us, it's gas for the car, propane for cooking, and just the unknowing of, what's going on, how things are going. So, Bridget?
Yeah. Yep. I think for us, we were talking today that there isn't anything that we've actually had to go without. But throughout this, it's just the uncertainty is the part you could go down the rabbit hole with. And so you just have to keep things in perspective. I was telling Dave today that even when some limited supplies have come in, I've never been anywhere where people are more gracious about waiting in line to get something that is important to them. So I've just been really impressed with the Panamanian culture, and people coming together to make sure people have what they need. So so it's actually given us even a more positive light on the Panamanian culture and what's available. So
I mean, yeah, she's right. You see people lining up to exchange propane tanks and they're not fighting. And we're coming up on Black Friday, which in the US means people like beat each other up and Best Buy and stuff to get a computer game. So it's really, really, really interesting to kind of watch. We feel really bad for the average Panamanian people because they're the ones that are being, really getting hurt by this. This started off as the Panamanians trying to get the government's attention, and they did. And now, in my opinion, this has just gone on too long. Now we have to wait on the Supreme Court. And so there's not really any reason to block the roads, because not only is it keeping gas and stuff from us, it's also keeping the farmers in this area whose livelihood is selling fresh vegetables and fruit in Panama City from getting their produce through. So it's really, from that point of view, it's really, really sad. But there's not a danger to us because we're expats, and we're not starving. We had tacos tonight. It was really good. We smoked chicken tacos. So, we're doing okay.
Yeah, for those that don't know, it's mostly the unions and the indigenous people that are keeping the roads blocked for those people that live in Bocas and Cherokee and the west side of the country. Most of the Panamanians in this province are really sick of the roadblocks and they want their propane and gas, and but they are incredibly patient.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Until they're not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's stay in this area and move on to Kevin and Tiziana.
Thanks,
hey
Dave
guys.
and Bridget.
Can you hear us?
Hey guys. Hello. Sorry, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Gunny just said hello to our pit bull. Sorry.
Dogs are barking. Where are you guys?
We're in Bocas del Toro, Isla Colon, on the main island of Bocas, if you will. We're not on the islands.
Yeah. So what's life right now these days over there?
We'll echo what Dave and Bridget said. It's nothing detrimental. I dare say it's even an inconvenience. It's just slow down a little bit. I mean, we don't have a car. It's the island, and a lot of people don't have vehicles. And the ones that do have, yeah, there's a shortage of gas, but there's still vehicles on the road. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but they're widening the roads around here to go to Playa Ponce and Drago to meet up one day. And the construction trucks are still running, the equipment's still running.
Wow.
Like he said, the grocery stores, it's not like for those of you in Florida, when there's a big hurricane, they just empty out the grocery stores. It's not like that at all. I think we saw some pictures today of people sharing on Facebook where they're pretty much full. I mean, if you need anything, you have the essentials. I mean, there's wants and needs, but no one's in dire straits here. Just it's sad to see all the negativity and drama, if you will, on social media, because especially those that don't live here. I mean, there's a lot of people asking questions. We hear Bocas is, it's an apocalypse. It's real bad, and it's not the case at all. It's sad. I mean, it's shame. You have to have people actually doing that don't live here. But do you want to add anything there?
Well, I was also going to say there are no protests on the islands. There is no, there's nobody protesting here. People are just like living their lives. The propane has been a little bit of issue.
Later in the week, see if gas gets here.
I'm sorry, what?
Not somehow.
Oh, the lifestyle really has not changed much. We don't have to go to work. Obviously, it's not the same level as a local person. Most restaurants are still open, and honestly, I can say the reason why we moved here is really for the people. They help each other. I mean, we constantly hear, hey, I need propane for my restaurant. And they come to the rescue, and somehow miraculously a propane tank happens for the restaurant. Somebody needs gas. Guess what? The Pier 19 has gas today. Okay, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's there. The food has never truthfully been short here. I'm a little bit easier to feed because I don't eat animals. So even if chicken is out, oh, well, there's carrots and potatoes and tomatoes. So, I mean, we have fresh vegetable coming to the islands all the time. The water taxis are functioning a shorter amount, but they are there. So people, they have to go to Almirante, they can go. Now, if you want to go a little bit further inside to Changuinola, has been blocked. The main bridge, the only thoroughfare that has been blocked. So until then, people still go, but it takes you a longer time. But on the island, if personally I did not know through media that there are protests on the mainland, I would never know.
You would never know.
I would never know. I mean, this is the safest place. Nobody's arguing out there. People feel worried about coming to the island.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. There's nothing to worry about coming here.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to me personally, I've been trying to spread the good word out there, because I'm a true believer in tourism in Panama, and I have been, about vouching for those they wanted to come to Panama. They don't have cancellation trips. They only have that time of the year for do the trip. They either they cancel, they didn't make it happen, or they lose their money.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I mean, we try and are being as authentic as possible. Obviously, we own a business in Panama, but these expats that are talking tonight do not own businesses. They just moved here and are mostly retired. So that's just their honest opinion on how they feel here right now.
Yeah.
And real quick, I have to say, every time I get a chance to speak, that those who are on the call that haven't been able to take a tour yet, if you have any reservations, don't the three people that you're talking to and looking at have been instrumental in our decision, not only to come here, but they were instrumental in helping us move here. We have 2 dogs. Rod was great help and again, instrumental in getting us a flight here. You couldn't ask for 3 better people. And we are humbly gracious for their help.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you,
We hope to
guys.
see you soon. We got to get out to Bocas.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
I'm just waiting for my helicopter. that I ordered from Amazon, and
Yeah,
we'll go.
then we're coming to see you as soon as that comes up. Do you think the Williams, Bill and Mary?
Yeah, I think we're gonna try and get Mary Ellen and Bill on.
Okay.
We're assuming
Mary Ellen, is that you? Mary Ellen and Bill?
Can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Hey, how are you? And where are you?
We are in Nueva Gorgona. If you looked at the map, it's right next to the Punta Chame point out near Coronado. We're right next to Coronado.
Yes.
I don't know if you have the map up, but anyway,
Let's pull in it up.
it looks like we only had one sort of challenge today, but it was pretty much deemed a block day. So, you just kind of hear about it, you don't go out. And but really, we haven't had any food shortages. We haven't had any gas shortages. We're pretty much everything's as usual. The only problem that we came up with was when we were coming back from Peru, from the World Cup pickleball.
There they are.
We had to fly in on Monday, and there was a flyer that had gone around saying that they were going to have major bridges. Yeah, both bridges were going to be blocked out of the city, and at 3 a.m. Finally, it turned out that Coronado Services is a tour company. I mean, not a tour company. They basically help with.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, hey guys. First of all, I'm going to get you to speak a little closer to the microphone. And guys, I just wanted to bring this up. This is Mary Ellen in this picture here. And yes,
There you go.
there she's part of the Panama pickleball team. During this entire crisis, they left Panama, flew to Peru, participated in the World Cup pickleball tournament, won it, and brought the trophy home. Isn't that exciting? Like, did you guys have any problems with like getting to your flights, coming back home? Were you worried about leaving your house?
I think you were saying a little bit, but we couldn't hear you that well.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? A little better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When we were going there, we basically made sure that we got there a day before. So we stayed in a hotel just to make sure that we were going to get there okay. Yeah, we did leave very early in the morning because a lot of times the blockages are not at 3 in the morning or 5 in the morning, and we were able to get through with no real problem. And on the way home, we did have a slight scare because there was a flyer going around that they were going to close the roads on the day we were coming back. Coronado Services helps with the taxiing to and from the city, and they picked us up right on time, and they would know what the traffic situation was. I mean, if it was a problem, we'd stay another night in Panama City and maybe go at 3 in the morning or whatever, but it turned out to be as smooth as anything. And we were home and had no problems. So yeah, Bill.
Yeah. How about the security of your homes, guy? Like, you left the country during this crisis. Were you concerned about your home, your belongings?
No way. We are actually on the 14th floor of a condo, so we always figure by the time they get to the 14th floor, they're pretty tired of robbing it.
Once they robbed everyone else.
That's one
not
thing
seen an uptick in violence in your neighborhood?
Well, there was some, and it was pretty much in our neighborhood. It was, they first said it was an American and Canadian, but I think he was a Zoni. He is a Panamanian who really liked his guns. So I don't know what really came of that. Kind of crazy that he was let go, I think. You hear all different rumors, so it's hard to know.
Oh yeah. There's been rumors, like we told people on this call, there's been 4 deaths, I believe. Like of this protest,
Yeah,
but
This guy had a video on him. It was crazy.
yeah. The guy is actually born and raised in Cologne, and he's a full Panamanian citizen. Yes, he has a North American descendants, but he he was born in Cologne, and he's a teacher. He's actually a
Yeah.
teacher. Imagine that, of a university, a prestigious university in Panama City. Now, when somebody, I don't know his personal backgrounds, but you know, when somebody getting desperation, they're going their ways, they're blocking the road, they have a gun, and they're being threatened, and then things get hit up. I mean, that was a mix of really bad situation, and the guy, he's a 75 years old man.
Yeah.
He's really fed up. He just don't care.
For those that don't know, there was
For those who don't know,
guys,
was.
a Panamanian that was stuck in the protest that
Yeah.
was arguing with two teachers that were blocking the road and
Teacher to
shot
teacher,
and killed
yeah.
both of them.
Yeah,
And that was really the worst violence we've seen
yeah.
since
Very sad.
throughout all of these protests.
Very
That-
sad.
since I've been here, I've never
Yeah,
seen
and
violence
it-
like
and it's
that.
very
There's
sad,
not that
though,
type of gun violence here.
folks, like if it comes to that, if you're on the street, you're being pushing, and you push somebody that much, and that somebody pull out a gun, the next thing you do is get out, and no instigate more violence, and that's unfortunately that day that's what happened. They call him bluffing, they call him everything. The guy just went off.
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Dave, Bridget, Kevin Tiziano, William, and Mary Ellen, and congratulations to Mary Ellen. Yesterday's pickleball in Panama.
Champions of pickleball, world champions.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways,
if you
yeah.
want to play pickleball in Panama, Gorgona's a great spot. Las Lajas, Boquete, it's
Boquete.
spreading and growing quickly.
Yeah,
Life is pretty normal here, guys. We're going to get into the Q&A and answer all everyone with their hands up and go first. Then we're going to answer the chat. Actually, I'm going to do one
they were raising his
because
hand.
I actually missed it, and they're all had their hands raised. Yeah. So thank you, guys, and you now know what other people are doing. I'm going to answer one question because I forgot it. The GDP implications about the canal issues. Okay, folks. The canal issues are pretty simply one thing. It's an El Nino year. We have low water. You can check the official Panama Canal site. Same thing happened in 2014. Now, a lot of the news is what you're seeing was reported in August, where we actually went right down to 50% of the normal crossings. A normal crossing is 38 ships every day. And these are the big ships, like when I'm not talking sailboats. Yeah, 38. And right now, over the last 2 weeks, we're back to 30. The El Nino year for us ends in March, and then probably be out of the but just this week already, no, last week, the largest Chinese shipper, you can Google it, Chinese shipper renegotiates rates with Panama Canal for 2024 are paying 30% more. So we will see a GDP drop because the GDP is almost, if you look at the numbers of 6 billion in canal tolls, 76 billion in GDP, that's 8% of our GDP. We might take a point or two hit this year on that. But we're not running half of the canal as reported, and I'm not going to be the guy that says and not have the proving, but the Panama Canal has an official website that shows every ship live. You can see them going through, and has a toll counter of how many ships pass through there every day. Yesterday there was 31, and
Imagine that.
Yeah, not 18 as routers reported in August. There was 18 in August for a few days because water was really low, but it's got wet after August here.
Yeah.
So we get a lot more rain.
There
So I
has
wanted
been.
to thank you very much, Jay Allen, for that.
Panama
So-
City just flooded last week.
Yeah, Panama City was flooded last week.
They were doing knee boarding on the main street
Yeah.
of the Argentina.
So first up, Judy, do you want to ask your question with your microphone? You have to unmute. We'll give you a couple seconds and then the next person. Terry, how about you? Would you like to answer your question, ask your question? All these people raised their hand. I don't know if you did it on purpose or if it was an accident.
Or
Kim?
if you're still there.
It's still there, is it? 100 and none, yeah. And Mario, we're gonna start. There's a bunch of questions in the Q&A chat.
Mauro.
Mauro. Okay, who's gonna ask the question? Nobody. We're gonna go to the chat. Okay.
Alright.
Where did you get your football team shirts, Oscar?
Mine was from.
It's football.
Your
What's
dad
that
bought
store?
it. Your dad bought it. I know we bought it Stevens
Was it Stevens? I thought it was Campeon.
or somewhere, but that time they were yeah.
Any Panamanian department store.
Yeah.
Oscar got his for free from Tigo.
Because I actually bought a very high-end cell phone, so that's why they gave me this one. Is it the original? It's the very original, just the stamp the Tigo, but it's the very original one, like yours.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Now they're having this one is a different sponsor. They're gonna show up tonight officially, the new Panamanian football team jersey.
There's a white and blue
It's
one
a-
too. That's
it's a-
really nice.
It's a new sponsor this time.
Great.
Reebok. This is now the past one was New Balance, the new one is Reebok.
Alrighty. Well, we
Okay.
only have a little bit of time left, so let's
Yeah.
do quick questions. How is the process to import a car
do
tax-free with a pensionado visa?
Okay. Duty free is what you're talking about, Oscar.
The importation of the cash, actually, you get the number of the importation of the car tax.
I'm sorry.
Importation of car tax at 20%.
Oh,
To import a car.
no, well, it's duty free. So the duty is 12 to 20%. You're gonna pay 10% tax.
Yeah, but if you're doing like a pensionado visa,
Mhm.
all that money you're saving, you're gonna pay more the same, even maybe more on time and lawyers and all paperwork you have to sustain that you're pensionado.
You're still gonna pay shipping and tax and
Yeah.
so
So it's not, it is, but it's not
Yeah.
really the pensionado the way. Just import the car unless it's your baby, because there is a lot of vehicles here in Panama. A lot of vehicles, sorry, there is on North America. Just the fuel here is different. The specifications of the vehicles for Latin America are different than North America. So is the restrictions and regulations. So the Hyundai Santa Fe is sold in the US or Canada is definitely not the same. The Hyundai Santa Fe is being sold in Panama.
No, delete some. Sorry.
Okay.
you're still gonna come
Yeah,
on into
so
Yeah. Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Yes, I think you answered that question. Okay, where is the mine on the map? That's a great question.
Mhm.
Let's take a look here. We're back to the map. The mine is called Cobre. Okay, this Cobre mine, that's the name of it. It is located here. This is Panama City. And you're a couple hundred kilometers from Panama City, couple hundred kilometers up from Santiago, right along the Caribbean Sea.
in the Colon province.
Yeah, in the province of Cologne. Yeah, it's right in there. Mhm. So that shows you where the mine is. Now, is anybody that has their hands raised want to ask a question? Okay, I'm going.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Mauro, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know I could talk. So I would like to know the average cost of pensionado visa process for a married couple
Mhm.
for Americans.
$2,800 for the full everything. That's all, stamps and processes and translations, everything.
And do I have to be there or can I start from here
You have to
from
start
US?
here. You have
First
to
in person.
make an appearance. You need a couple of weeks to be here. Make an
So
appearance.
I need to be already retired, receiving
Yes, you have to be receiving
income.
the
Okay.
pension to apply.
You can start gathering the paperwork for the process. You could definitely get in contact with a Panamanian lawyer. if you need a recommendation, we can.
Yeah, do you have a referrals for?
We certainly do.
Attorneys.
We will directly introduce you. Just let me, sorry, I accidentally closed one of my browsers.
Rod will pop the link into the chat for you.
What
But
is the chat?
you can definitely we recommend you get in touch with them before you come to Panama, and they'll make sure you come down with all of your paperwork. Paperwork does expire within 6 months. So from starting to gather paperwork to actually applying, you want to do that within that 6-month period. And you need to be in person at the immigration office in Panama City or in David for the initial application.
Yeah,
When
to the
when
right-
I land, how long I mean, when I arrive there, how long does it take to get the visa,
can-
more or less?
Work with your lawyer and say they'll probably recommend that you come for 2 weeks, but they will get your application appointment for while you're here.
And you both have to be here, both people on the application.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can go back for 4 or 5, 6 months and then come back and get your permanent one. You don't have to stay here during the process. But you do have to be here twice.
Because they approve within 6 months after the initial application.
Mhm.
Usually within 4 or 5 months, they'll call you back in and you'll get your permanent residency card.
Can I ask another one? The bank, is there a good bank that has a branch, a U.S. bank that has a branch in Panama or vice versa?
No, there are no US or Canadian banks doing retail business in Panama whatsoever.
Mhm. Now, with the banking, it depends where you're gonna relocate or where you feel gonna be in it. Some options might be better suit for you. We can recommend you, like me personally, the first bank that you can open a bank account is multi-bank. If you are in the Chiriquí province or Panama City, because they have English online. Now, Banismo is another popular bank that some experts like to open their accounts. It works very well in the Panama West province, and Chiriquí is a little bit customer service not so great. So it very depends where you're gonna be. But in
Multi-bank.
my humble
Multi-bank is the name of the bank?
which one? The first one?
No, did you say multi-bank?
Multi-bank, yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
name of the bank?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, to open a bank account here, you're gonna need to get your residency done first.
Mhm.
Okay.
You need to be in the process of residency.
Yes.
And even the lawyer gets involved because they gotta write a letter that you're in the process of
Mhm.
residency and stuff.
Yeah.
So
But
to,
opening a-
to pay the lawyer, I have to bring cash then or
Well, and
credit card?
a good lawyer will take a credit card over the phone, so
Mhm.
don't
Okay.
worry about that. Mhm.
Don't do not send also like the people that wanna refer you. Just
I
be
sent you
sure
a
they're
link,
gonna be
Mario,
pretty
in
good,
the
like
chat.
lawyers,
Yeah, I sent you a link, Mario, in the chat, and just fill that out, and I will connect you with the lawyer tomorrow morning.
Thank
You're
you.
the best.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're the best moment.
Okay,
You'll be in good hands.
Thank you.
You already are in good hands, so don't you worry.
all righty. Thank you. Nice talking to you. Anyone else? Kim, Terry, you there? If not, we're moving on to the next question.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Kim, how are you?
Oh, you guys do a great job here. I have a question about the pensionado program because we're thinking about coming in within the year. And my question is, I was told at one time that we should bring papers from the States to take to the Panamanian to set up for the pensionado. So we're
Yeah,
not going back and forth.
If you're coming here and you want to apply, you want to start before you get here. You want to retain your lawyer, and they're going to instruct you what you need to bring. You're going to need a criminal background check. You're going to need a marriage license. You're going to need
Social security
yeah,
letter.
your social security
Mhm.
letter or some other types of proof of income. So it's easier to get that stuff done when in the US. It can be done from here, but it's just more difficult.
Okay, did you say an FBI investigation too? Is
Yes.
that part of it?
Yes, an FBI criminal background check, yes. Fingerprinted. Mhm.
Okay, so in other words, get in touch with the Panamanian lawyer.
Yes.
It's gonna tell in the States over there, and that he'll help give us the steps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Mhm. Let me again I think I popped the wrong one. This link is a little more detailed on visas available.
Make sure you're sending to everyone.
Yes, thank you. Now I just put in the chat right now, so grab it while you can, open that up. If you're interested in getting connected with great immigration attorneys in Canada, fill that out and I'll send you to the right one in your area.
Panama. Did you say?
Okay, great. So is this information in the guide that you guys are giving us?
Yes, it is too. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Our people have been working with me, with us. It started with me since I got here in Panama. So over a decade, 100% success rate.
Okay. Single seeking pension adult visa next February. If I marry, what is the process she can join my visa since she doesn't have a pension for another 15 years? Why don't you marry her before she comes, right?
Yep.
Here I'm
Definitely.
giving a marriage advice. No, yeah, if that isn't going to happen, there is a family reunification process that you can go for. But honestly, if you want to save money, yeah, getting married before you start,
Yeah.
because a dependent is only an additional $500 on a visa.
Mhm.
Or if you have to do a whole nother family reunification process, it'll cost more.
And you have to have a pension of at least $1,000 plus $250 for every dependent.
Mhm.
So for married
Okay.
couple, $1,250.
This is the only one issue. What about the status and plans for the Panama Canal? Well, Jay, the Panama Canal issue is a temporary issue due to a El Nino dry year. And you can go back through every one. There's one every, I think it's 5 years. Yeah, because 2014 was our last,
Almost
or every
that.
4.5 years. Well, and El Nino year lasts for 18 months. And we're almost out of it. So we have less rain, and when we have less rain, the Gutan Lake is lower and we can do less passings.
I love those ones.
Don't know what this call should be about. Anonymous attendee. Yeah, well, let's dismiss. What is the state of the economy? The state of the economy is the basis. Oh, yeah, I understand.
Were you just explain about GDP of Panama?
Yeah. Yeah, I already answered that question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it affect Canada-Panama relationships? I don't know. I'm a Canadian. Everyone knows I'm a Canadian. My neighbors know I'm a Canadian. They don't like me any less. I like, it's not like Panama is such a multicultural country. I come from Vancouver. That's why I feel at home here. Very multicultural company. And Panama has been multicultural ever since the French tried to build the canal, the US finished the canal. Yeah. So it's not that they're going to hate Canadians because a Canadian company was involved in this. They're more angry at their government and politicians and corruption. Yeah, that allowed it. So
Yes.
that's my opinion of what's going to happen there.
My opinion too.
Who cares about the GDP? Why should we come to Canada? Okay.
Panama.
No, Panama.
Why do I keep saying that?
You get it. You.
When did that person found over here? Is there any way to do that without?
Kevin asked, propane, is there not a delivery service? There is actually a delivery service for propane if you have the larger tanks. The problem is just the major roadblocks in Cherokee right now that are not letting certain items get through.
Oh, I think delivery service, this is unique. A lot of people don't know. There is no natural gas delivery service in Panama. Like there's no lines under the ground. Everything is serviced by tanks. 20-pound propane tanks, just like your barbecue tank back at home in North America. That's what we got hooked up. That runs our stoves and hot water and dryers. They're all propane here. And we exchange those every time they get in. Oh, they're getting empty. You better go get a new one for $5.35. That's what we don't have because the roads are blocked and that stuff comes from Panama City where it's bottled there. And hopefully they change that. So a lot of people are running out of cooking gas.
Gasoline we've been getting from Costa Rica, but the propane is different.
Propane is actually in some areas, even like drinking oil, there is now the transfer, reloading
Mhm.
propane gas in Costa Rica.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's a way to get around and not just this ship through ocean to Puerto Muelles, 10,000 pipes of 25 pounds of propane gas.
Yeah.
So there is things coming out because to figure things out, they know
Mhm.
that it cannot just people let here without propane gas.
Okay. Now, the free guide that I offered will come in the replay email. Just depends on how long it takes us to, what time does this? Oh, yeah, to process this video and stuff, but the latest by noon tomorrow, you'll
Yep.
have the email.
The next question is about medication getting through the road blockages.
Well, most medication, if it's like has to do with the Panama National Supply, they've been flying it.
Mhm.
Now, if you're ordering meds for the US, this is a big issue. Now, we always tell our guests that come on our tour, bring in a 90-day supply. If
Minimum.
you're ordering your meds out of the US,
Yeah.
bring in 90 days minimum, like Oscar said,
Yeah.
at a time. This is not the first time this has happened. It's doesn't happen all the time, but it happened one other time, not quite 2 years ago, like a year and a
Yeah.
half ago.
And this time, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's just gonna get a little political just about Panama. This happened because the current government, there has to be that political party. And my very personal opinion, I always say to my Panamanian friends and family, just they have to just stop stink. It's like they need to eradicate this political party. But
Mhm.
this is just
That's just Oscar's
that's just my opinion.
political moment, which will
A
cut
lot
out
of
of the replay.
Panamanians do feel the same way.
I am very Panamanian that way.
Yes, yeah.
They're very sick of this.
Yeah,
government.
so a lot of people bring their goods and even their medicines, like they keep their US doctors, they're comfortable with them. They go
Yeah.
home every once or twice a year,
Yeah.
and they bring their medicines through a third-party shipper like Mailbox, etc. and stuff. You need to be prepared for stuff like that when you move here. You need to bring several. That's weird. Months in at a time because some people are short. If you're running short, go see a doctor here and see if you can get something to get you by.
Mhm.
Maureen, how are you touring? I know whom. This is Maureen.
How have our
Uh,
tours
yes.
been affected?
They've been affected for sure. The
Yeah.
November tour didn't even go through because we were at the beginning of this. We actually did a tour at the beginning, like halfway
Yeah.
through. It started halfway through a tour.
Yeah, and then we have to
We
figure
managed.
out how to make it happen. We made it happen, and all my peeps they had a fantastic time despite of the situations. And I was just explaining to them how it is from the perspective of someone who has been here over 10 years,
Mhm.
and also about the appreciative about the situation. Then actually, if you're looking to move overseas to another country, especially like in Latin America, this was an opportunity to see, pardon me my French, when things hit the fan.
Yeah.
And then if you're okay with that, that means, because there is no perfect country these days. And every country is gonna face any trouble. We all know that. I'm a Colombian. In my country, I was born and raised in the 1980. And you all know what's the history about Colombia in those times. And I'm from Cali, Colombia. So being here in Panama is still a paradise. Being here is a just walking a trailer park for me.
So we
Seriously.
flew the group from Panama City to David.
Yep.
They got to see Boquete, David, beach near David, all of Panama City area. And then the tour after that, we did cancel and we gave them all the option to move to
Yeah.
another tour at no
So another
cost.
tour, yeah.
And we're hoping that our upcoming tour
December.
will go
So
off.
anyway, our group, we've already had Zoom meetings with our December group and they're all excited to come if we can show them, the country. And if, there's a decision handed down this weekend and things clear up, they'll come. If not, they'll come in January, or they'll come in February. Like we'll make it happen for them.
Yeah, this situation
We
is
are
gonna
committed to our guest.
yeah, and this situation shall pass and shall pass. And in Panama, it will come stronger. Panama people will become actually more aware of the situation. This is something that should happen. It's not the best situation for anybody involved or getting hurt. But I'm very faithful that it's gonna be really beautiful turnover.
Mhm. Yeah. So anyone from Panama City have any comments? Let's have someone from Panama City pop some comment. What's it like living there right now if you're actually living there? And Mario, we answered your question. Pensionado visa for a couple should not be over $2,800. We're arriving in Panama January 8th, assuming we don't assume here, but honestly,
I will tell you,
Yeah.
my perception will say you'll be clear.
yeah, exactly, because there's no way if the mining decision's done, the protesters have been given what they wanted, they can't continue to block the roads. The police will come in and remove them, as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to having you here. Okay, what's your take on Panama's views on Bitcoin? Panama's views on Bitcoin are actually quite positive. It's the
Mhm.
bank's views on Bitcoin here that aren't. But I think everyone's growing there. So other Central American countries have. We actually have a Bitcoin mall down on Balboa Avenue in Panama City that all they take is Bitcoin in a bunch of stores. So. Good question, Debbie. Yes. Oh, Diana. Yes, Scotiabank is here. Nothing to do with Canada Scotiabank. Scotiabank's international versions are held by international entities. It was kind of funny when I first came here. I thought the same thing, Diana. I went to open up an account. I even had some Canadian money, and all the tellers were calling other ones over. They'd never seen Canadian money. So Scotiabank here is as Canadian as I don't know. Yeah, so it doesn't help you hurt whatsoever.
Yeah, Scotiabank here in Panama is a little bit like no more much going on, in my opinion.
Can I mail my paperwork to attorney before you get there? Well, you're gonna be working with your attorney. Yeah, you're gonna scan and email everything you got so they can approve it. Yes, but you're gonna and
You're not
even
gonna snail mail it.
no,
Yeah.
but typically once a week, our attorney works with the counselor, Panama consulate in Los Angeles, and you get them all your stuff. And once a week, they courier a package to Panama. So your paperwork will probably be here before you are. Yes, you cannot apply. You have to physically be standing in front of the immigration officer to apply.
And to get a multi-entry visa, that's the primary thing you need to get.
You don't need a medical in Panama for your immigration. You need to sit in a doctor's office, and the receptionist will typically just bring you out a piece of paper saying that you're healthy. That's just sometimes most people don't even have to see the doctor. So I answered that already, Oscar.
I
Do
know.
you have to get a medical?
Oh, I didn't delete it yet. Yeah, so no
that-
medical needed to, if you want to get health insurance, you're gonna need a medical, but not for immigration. You need what's called a good health certificate. And basically the doctor just looks at you, yep, you're in good health.
And that's if you're over.
No, for your immigration, you
Oh, right,
need
right.
a good health certificate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to read that aloud?
Yeah, Bruce, yeah.
For a Plan B strategy while applying for a permanent visa without a lease or place to live just long enough to get a residency in Cedula, how do I show a lease to satisfy the government?
Very simple. Only singles have to show a lease. It's the weirdest law, and they're not like really. Can your Airbnb not write you a letter? And most lawyers will get it done for you. Like somebody for a couple $100 will give you a letter saying that you're living at their place. That's basically how it's done here. It's a dumb law. Somehow it was removed as a requirement under the couples and left under the single. And even our lawyer can't figure out why they still need this, but it shouldn't be a holdback. Your lawyer should be able to give you a solution for that.
It was a good one.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to turn on my mic.
Can you talk about visas for folks who aren't old enough for Medicare and don't have pensions?
Not old enough for Medicare.
I think she means Social Security.
Oh, Social Security and don't have pensions. You're basically looking at a friendly nations visa, which is a $200,000 investment in the country. Unfortunately, there aren't right now. I'm hoping after our next president gets elected, there will be something different. Because right now there is remote workers visa. It's called a short stay visa. It's really crappy. There's really nothing else besides coming here for 6 months and going home for a month.
Yeah, as a Canadian or US tourist, you can stay in Panama for 6 months and then go on vacation for a couple weeks and come on back. So if you're a few years out from Social Security, you could start off that way, and it gives you a chance to make sure that, see if Panama's really for you before getting your residency. A lot of people do that anyway.
Yeah. For the pensionado, would I qualify if I pay myself from my own company? Nope. This has to be an official, documented, notarized pension for life.
Yeah.
And you can't really fool the government. It has to come from a government entity or a corporation with a pension administrator and stuff like that. So things like annuities no longer count. So I'm still coming for a tour. Maureen, we're sold out in January and February. When to come in March? Average total cost. Okay, I've seen this question before.
Yeah, we answered that one.
Okay.
Do you suspect there will be problems during the election in the spring?
I've only experienced 2 Panama elections. They've all been very peaceful events.
I don't think that actually the next elections is gonna be festivity.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a festivity because people are gonna be sharing in this current political party is not gonna be any longer in the picture. And whoever gets elected, I'm hoping that this person is gonna be a different political view, and it's gonna be uniting the country
The party
once again.
always changes.
Yeah, always changes. Yeah.
After the presidency, the president has 5 years in office, and at the end of those 5 years, everyone wants that party out of office, and there are 4 major parties.
Yeah, I know, but this one, specifically this one, and I'm not afraid to say, which is a PRD, this one is gonna be stink for a long time, hopefully forever.
Okay.
That's just my again.
Yeah. So anyways, from a North American perspective, this is what the first election I saw here, this is what it was like. Elections in Latin America, they hold them Sundays, kind of weird. You go to church, you leave church, and you come back and you vote, and then everyone sits around for barbecues in the afternoon, and the whole families are together. They
They're
go
all wearing different
all day,
t-shirts.
the pickup trucks and station wagons out in the front all have someone else's party on them, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's it, it's very calming, and they only
Very.
campaign for 30 to 60 days.
Although they started early this year.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really campaigning. Like I'm talking signs and
They
TV
did, they
ads
start-
and stuff.
Oh.
like that.
Well, the current president started putting up signs, the
Oh, yeah.
vice president.
Yeah.
So the other party started doing it too.
That poor man, I feel
They're
so sorry.
technically
seen
not
any
supposed
signs.
to.
That poor guy. He lost before even we started.
Hey Mario, health insurance, you're looking at, if you want some, I don't know your age, so I can't tell you the cost, but for an international plans in Panama, you're looking at, let's say you are 60 at 250 a month. If you're 70, probably 350, 400 a month. So that's basically like I gave you a big range there, but really that's what you're looking at. I just got some new quotes in today and they range in that number. So.
And that's international.
Yeah, that's international plans. There's no deductible, no copay within Panama, but you will have the deductible, but no copay outside of Panama.
You do
And
have
your
to live
deductible is
here.
above 5,000. Yes, you have to be a resident. Renting versus buying.
Plenty of availability for both.
Yep. Plenty.
Don't buy unless you know you definitely love it here, because it can take a little while to sell. Generally,
And
there's plenty of rentals available.
yeah, make sure, because some people they wanted to relocate on the coast of Panama. They have this fantasy it's gonna be like California, where you have dry weather and cool winds some time of the year. Anywhere in the sea level in the tropical countries and the tropical weather is gonna be hot as humid as you can imagine, like Florida in the hottest times.
Maureen said, doesn't March have a ton of holidays, more expensive? I want to stay at least 2 more weeks after the tour.
Well, if it pays you hit Easter. That's the most. If you, I don't know if it's Easter next year, it's gonna be. Sometimes it's March, sometimes in April.
Yeah, I was just bringing that up. I'm thinking the same as Oscar here. What do we?
That's
Carnival is
Usually
not
February.
Carnival, Semana Santa, would be
Semana Santa. We'll check out the calendar for March.
Easter.
Easter, Good Friday. Oh, the last week of March is Easter.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's same holidays around the world. Like,
yeah,
there's
But
no
here it's
extra. Yeah,
Whole week before Easter.
yeah.
is-
No, February has the carnival holidays.
Yeah.
There's only one holiday in March that happens to be Easter this year. November is the month with all the holidays.
Yeah.
There are 5 different holidays in November right now.
yeah.
But the last week of March, a lot of people will be going to the beaches and family vacations for. It's called Semana Santa. The week before
the
Easter.
Holy Week.
Yes, Mario. That quote was $250 for one person.
That's
Yeah.
why they do carnivals
They're
before
60s.
the Holy Week, because actually it's before the Ash Wednesday, so you can go off, go to the
Yeah,
church,
1, 2,
be
3,
forgiven,
1,
and then carry on.
Okay.
Right?
Is this a question from Bruce? Why are oh, this is a great question.
Do you want me to read it out loud?
Yes.
Yes.
Panama has extremely inexpensive food, healthcare, long-term home rentals, utilities, mostly everything. So why are hotels so very costly from Panama City to Boquete? They seem to run from $175 if you're lucky to $300 a night, even in Boquete. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places.
You are. You know, sure, I know Panama City can be overpriced, but you won't even pay that for the Marriott.
Yeah, JW Marriott Rio.
Those are like for the nicest
W.
hotels in each
Yeah.
place. Those are the
I
prices.
love the executive hotel in Panama City. It's
Love it.
modern, beautiful beds, great food, nice
Amazing.
bar, and it
Central
will be
located.
$89, $90 a night.
Yeah.
And in Boquete, you can stay at
There is downtown suites.
suites for $100.
There is Ladera.
There for 89.
There is Boquete Garden Inn.
Yeah, that might be 100 and some, but no 175 to 300.
Yeah.
And those that they're naming are like very traditional hotels.
Yeah.
You can get better rates too.
Yeah, the most expensive here in Boquete is Valle Escondido, if I'm right.
Yeah.
In Panama
Yeah,
too.
I
but
think you're right.
there is during the state it's a golf course. It's like the bougie.
But
place
it's still,
in Boquete.
it might be 250 a night,
Uh-huh.
the most expensive one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, as we wind up here, there might be a few people that still wanted to say hi. Okay, no,
Kim was on, Mauro was
Judy,
on.
were you on?
Oh, we didn't hear from Judy.
No.
Feel free to unmute if you have a question.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Judy,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm doing good. Actually, I'm kind of about half sick, but I don't know why it does that. I didn't put a hand up,
Oh, well, we're waving, so where are you from?
but I will say, since you just was talking about hotels, every time we go, we always stay at that executive right there close to the airport in Panama City.
Yeah.
And it's inexpensive.
Yeah. It varies.
And you can get like in 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes back to the airport to go to Davi.
Yeah.
To Albrook.
Yeah.
To Albrook, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they got big king size beds, big rooms.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really nice. That's the only place I probably will ever stay.
Yeah, I love the gym.
Oh,
They're
it's
just
$100 bucks.
consistent.
Yeah.
The staff is so nice.
Yeah, we'll be in Boquete for the month of February.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
And we're working on our Panama visa.
Great.
Great.
Beautiful.
Look us up. Say
Well,
hi.
I hope we'll get
Say
to see
hi.
you in February, Judy.
Yeah. Do what now?
And we're looking forward to meet you in February.
Yes. I will let you know when we're there, and maybe we can go get a chicken lunch.
There you
There
go.
we go.
There we go.
Perfect. As long as they have chicken.
Yeah. There'll be plenty. Trust me.
Y'all take care.
Bye
You too,
bye.
honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Hey, from Jaramillo Centro. Just wanted to say
That's right.
Miski and I filled out all our paperwork in the States. And we came down to Panama City a day early. We visited the embassy and then went on the best tour in Panama, Retire in Panama tours.
I've heard of those guys.
We had our temporary permanent resident cards before we turned to the States. So I highly recommend that approach. Find your attorney, work on all the paperwork, get your apostilles and all those good things, and bring it on down and get it done.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Paul.
All righty, Paul. And how are you guys getting along up there? Anything you need?
Well, I could use a tank full of gas, but other than that, no,
I'll let
we're
you know.
doing well.
I'll let you know as soon as I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Rod.
Yeah.
Hey, you can text me to my WhatsApp if you really, so I can be on top of that. If you have you need the small one, the big one, I'll figure out when it's coming to get you on the list.
You guys.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, actually, the landlord takes care of the propane. It's just the Nissan that I've got to put some petrol in.
If you got a little bit of gas,
do
we
that.
got a few guys, $9-10. Put 3 gallons in.
Yeah.
And that way, you have to get around for the weekend.
I appreciate y'all.
Alrighty. Okay.
Bye, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
As we close here, we're gonna do a plug. Yeah, this thing ends in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
During tough times like this, if you went on a relocation tour, guess what? Guess who you're calling? Just like our good friend Paul and Mitzi when they need gas. We know where to get gas. We know where to get chicken. We know where to get eggs. So our guests, rely on us after because they've taken one of our tours and they're our friends. So we can help
And
them
not
out.
just that, like sometimes, and not even the people don't take our tours, people that use your services or just cross our paths and reach out to us. And there is many services that we do besides the relocation tour. We do the pet relocation, we do the car purchasing, we do sermon about getting your lawyer. Any of the topic that will be needed for you to relocate in Panama to make your life easier. We care about you guys. All of us were expats. I got here, I speak Spanish. I got here 14 years ago, and I speak Spanish. And even though for me it was a hassle to get things done, and I thought, if this is a hassle for me who speaks the language, I can imagine what it'd be for someone who doesn't. And this is my passion. This is what I do today. And I mean it. I really mean it. So that's why my wife, when she got here, she got right away permanent resident. My business partner, he was in trouble. I got him right away straight up with everything because I care of them. And anybody comes and cross my path. So that's what we do.
Okay. Anyone who lives in Cherokee, please join the Facebook group Expats in Boquete. We make announcements where the chicken is, where the gas is, all stuff like that. Yes, Maureen, Executive Hotel is downtown Panama City. Great location.
Banking district.
And we are going to say goodnight. Our contact number is in the chat. We don't hide. We are available through we take emails, we answer them daily, and our phone number is even on our website.
Yeah.
And obviously that's more of an 8 to 5 thing.
We'll be sending out lots of good info to your email tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So you'll get all the information we talked about today, everything we showed. To stay updated, you are on our main list now. So as soon as we know stuff, we'll send information out about what's going on. And we're going to get through this.
And thank you so much. And thank you so much to every single one of you who attended the call tonight. Thank you so much to our peeps, Dave, Bridget, Mary Ellen, Bill, Tiziana, Kevin.
Like all of them, we still
all of
believe
you,
in Panama.
Paul, Misty. And we're in this together. The ones who are here in Panama, we stay together. And I really want to encourage you to watch tonight the game of Panama.
Is it
9
on
p.m.
Okay.
In 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes.
Okay.
But first, we're gonna be tricky. We're gonna be watching Eagles too.
Yeah. 2 screens.
2 screens.
All right, guys.
Good night.
Talk soon.
Buenas noches.
Bye-bye.
Love you all.